Welcome into the Woo Pig podcast. Took a little bit of a break over the summer, but we're back and getting ready for football season. Ailey Weiss joined alongside PTN's newest member, Paige. All right, let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way. Isaiah Sealy arrested earlier this morning at around 1:30 in the morning, charged with a couple different things. Interested to see how Coach Cal is going to diffuse the situation, what steps he's going to take with Sealy going forwards. He's not the type of coach to, I feel like, put up with stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where he goes from there.
Yeah, no, Razorback Athletics, they commented on the situation saying that they're aware of it. They're going to be addressing it internally, and they're just going to be able to figure it out and kind of keep the situation a little bit private.
Yeah. So I think that's the best course of action for him as well, because okay, so that's enough of that. Just wanted to make sure that we mentioned that on here. Now over to some football. You and I have been over at fall camp pretty much every day. We've been tag teaming it, I feel like, pretty much for PTN. Biggest takeaways that you have with Razorback so far?
First off, they need like Italian ice at the practice facility.
They were walking around yesterday with pickle juice and fruit cups. It's like pickle juice. I don't really feel like pickle juice right now, but fruit cups, I could go for a fruit cup.
Oh my gosh, no, I saw the trainers like bringing fruit cups over, and I was like, man, those fruit cups remind me of the time when you were like first, second grade, and you would eat them, but you would have to like give it to your teacher because you didn't have like the skill enough to open it without
it spilling everywhere.
The juice absolutely everywhere. So good. My favorite one is the orange. What's yours?
Like the mandarin oranges one?
Yes.
No.
What?
I think it's like peach and mango, and then I think there's like the really fake, really bad for you cherries, but they're really good.
They would get crazy if they just like brought out the ones that like made out of like Jell-O.
Yes. Wait, those ones were really good.
I was never really into that. I think it was because my older sister wasn't into it, and I copied everything that she did. So
okay, that's fair.
That's why. But no, biggest takeaways I have to say is
besides the pickle juice and the fruit cups.
I think the energy of this team is so contagious.
Yeah.
Ryan Silverfield, his energy out there is unbelievable. Obviously, we all want to know who the starting quarterback is going to be.
And we're going to hear from the quarterbacks later today as well. Yeah. I'll be over there. So, I mean, the question's going to be asked. Yeah. Probably not going to get an answer. We kind of know that at this point, but it'll be interesting if they give us anything else in terms of, AJ's doing this really well or KJ's doing this really well.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being KJ Jackson. I mean, I think also the way that he's just been carrying himself and the leadership skills and all of that, I 100% think it's going to be KJ. But I also, I think it's really important in order for the two of them to keep it really competitive with each other. Because in the SEC, it's so cutthroat no matter what sport it is. And especially when it comes to football, it is so cutthroat. So, I mean, I think the guy is KJ Jackson, though. He's looked a lot more impressive. Yeah. Yes, there have been days where AJ has looked really good.
And I think even, like, we've heard it from the D-line coaches, the O-line coaches, wide receiver coaches, literally everybody, it's football. People get hurt. So having a guy that's neck and neck, like having these two guys that are neck and neck, and then you have a guy who you could throw in, like, let's say we're going to say KJ gets starting spot, because that's also who I think is going to be as well. But let's say, knock on wood, I don't have any wood near me, I'll knock on it in the break, he gets injured, then you have a guy like AJ that you could throw in really quick and you feel comfortable putting him in. I am interested to see if KJ does get the start against North Alabama, how soon do they bring in AJ? Because it's the first game of the year, you're playing North Alabama, like both guys are going to get time on the field.
Yeah, I think when you look at that schedule, I think Utah is going to be the real setting standard. Yeah, that's going to be the first test, honestly, because then right after that, you have Georgia and you have Kirby Smart. And there's only been one other coach where their first SEC game was against Kirby Smart in Georgia, and it was Kalen DeBoer. And DeBoer won, but also, too, it's the bad luck of Georgia of always playing Alabama first in the season. So, maybe Ryan Silverfield will have some of that luck on his side, but I think Utah is going to be the standard really for the rest of the season and really going to go ahead and set the tone for the rest of the season. Yeah. I almost would be hesitant to put AJ in. Let's say, for example, Utah does not go Arkansas's way. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's going to be a really tough game. Timing, Utah's ranked. Yes, they've had turnover with their head coach, but who really knows what's going to happen until you get out on the field.
I feel like people can't even use that as an excuse this year because there's been so much turnover throughout the whole country, not just the SEC. Like the SEC has 5 schools that have new head coaches in their places, whatever. But so has the rest of the country. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's not going to be a line that people can use this year.
No, there's no, I mean, I look back at that coaching carousel. I don't know about you.
That was crazy.
I was addicted to it. I mean, the person that I was the most, I think the whole country was captivated by was Lane Kiffin, but just with the way he left Ole Miss and stuff.
Like,
but
I'm not
yeah.
even an Ole Miss. Like, I didn't go to school in the SEC. I went to the school in ACC. I went to Syracuse. So, like, this wasn't even a huge, like, oh my God. But I, like, felt bad for Ole Miss. I was like, wait, that's kind of a heartbreaker. Like, I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the risk
That's
you
the
take.
SEC, though.
That's the risk that you
Ruthless.
take when you hire Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
But no, I think the only reason why I'd be hesitant to put AJ in really early is because I don't think he makes as clearer decisions the way that KJ does. I think KJ, his release rate is a lot faster than KJ's. And also, too, we don't really fully know what the O-line is going to look like. I thought they looked a little bit small out there when I went out there. I don't know. I'm going to, like, tonight, I really want to look and I want to see, like, what are, like, the weight and height differences. I thought the D-line looked a little bit short, but also, too, I think, like, perception of, like, when you're up in a press box.
Right.
Compared to when you were actually out on the field and stuff. But yeah, I was talking to other media members when I went out and I thought those two groups looked a little bit small. So, and you know, AJ, I think his decision making has got to be a lot quicker.
Yeah, well, last year, Arkansas had one of the best O-lines in the country. So they have 2 returning guys in Caden Kittler. He also went to SEC Media Days, was saying that they're very confident in what they have brewing for another year to be just as successful. And they also have a guy like Malachi who's coming over from Memphis to Arkansas. So he's bringing in the offense. Like, he already knows all of this so well. It's like the back of his hand. Caden's like, I'll lean over to him and ask him questions all the time. Like, he already knows this, and he's so willing to help others too. So pretty much everybody's been asking him, like, hey, what's going on? Like, if they have any questions. And that's super helpful because sometimes it's who you're asking the questions to and who, like, the messenger, not necessarily the question. Like, if you're asking your teammate something, you may feel more comfortable asking them something instead of asking the coach the same question 2 or 3 times.
So what did you think of the O-line's haircuts? Were you at that press conference?
I was. And I think it's awesome. I was there
like,
again.
I think it's awesome, but
I
would
clipped
never
it
get
and
it.
put it on my social, like my personal social media accounts because I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was really funny because they threw Caden Kittler under the bus and they're like, well, he's losing his hair. So he made all of us do this so that we'd all shave his head. So then yesterday he's in there and he's like, that is not the case. Like, am I losing my hair? Probably, yes. But like, I just thought it would be a great team bonding thing. And they totally went in and ruined that. Not actually, but he was just like, that was so funny. And then he's joking with Trey Biddy. He's like, now I got the Trey Biddy because he just completely shaved it. So he's like, just clean. His was like a very severe, like receding hairline. So it like went to like here. And then he like let it out. And then he's like, I think he said he lasted the second longest with it. I don't know if there's somebody who still has it, but I'm like, did you see the checkered one? I think that one was my favorite.
That was the haircut that I was thinking of.
I think that one was my favorite, but no, the one that's like the reverse mohawk. Like I was at that one when I was like, he walked in and I was like, this has to be like,
oh my God.
It's like, I really hope you get that cut before the first day of school. Your mom is not going to like your first day of school photos this year.
No. That'd be traumatizing.
What do you think of them? I thought it was hilarious though.
That
Great
was
team
hysterical.
bonding.
No, and I also too, I just feel like from like hearing a lot of the players and like watching how they interact with each other and talking to a lot of the coaches, I think they've done a really good job of responding to this new coaching staff.
I agree.
I think with that becomes, you become so much closer together as a group. And I think that's so important. And I mean, I think that when you go back to like even like the Chad Morris years of like reading different articles or like talking to parents about how it was super tense in that locker room and how like the groups weren't really close, I feel like it's very, very different.
Yeah.
Now.
Like they're obviously tense when they need to be. I think they have a good balance going of like, okay, they can really kick it into gear and like, okay, no joking around, no more laughing, like time to do some drills and time to grind. But then they get off the field, they're in the locker room and they're like, hey, let's go get these ridiculous haircuts. Yeah. Like, why not? Because like, that's funny. No, I agree. I do think they're doing a good balance. And I also think somebody like Caden Kittler, who is a returner and definitely a veteran, senior presence. I think like he's been very welcoming to Silverfield. He's like, I've been wanting to play for him for a while. Like he recruited me in high school. Yeah. And he just didn't really want to be in Memphis. So he ended up coming to Arkansas, loved Arkansas and has stayed here. And I think having a guy like that buy into what Silverfield is saying so early on, that is just contagious for the rest of the team to then catch on to.
Oh, 100%. Also to someone who I was really impressed by that I don't feel like is being talked about a lot is Braylon Russell.
Yeah.
He is such a nice guy. Yeah. He's awesome. Oh yeah. He's awesome. I saw him at his, when I was still in Little Rock, I had seen him at the like Dream Big Camp that he was hosting. First off, shout out to all those campers. I sent I think I said, I don't know if it
Yes,
was
you
you or
did.
Hayden. Yeah.
Yes.
There's this kid, first off, like shout out. I don't know if he like knows Braylon. I don't know like personally or whatever, but
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing some serious Spider-Man flips. Some serious Spider-Man flips
I love it.
on there. Imagine if we just like cold open with that. Oh my
That
God.
would be, wait, that's not a bad idea.
Cold open with that on the TV.
When we
show.
speak to the running backs,
Yeah.
whenever that is in the coming weeks, that should be, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to go back to something you were talking about a little bit before, because we kind of talked about the O-line being a little undersized, but you kind of have those vets. So it's like, okay, is Brains going to outdo the Bronze in the SEC? And I feel like there's the obvious answer of no. But in like, just to push back a little bit on that, because I do think no is the correct answer. Like, is there a way to kind of outsmart your opponent in the trenches?
I think it's so hard. I think the size is the biggest
Right?
thing.
I
You just
agree.
have to really think about like the size of stuff. And you
Yeah.
saw it last year with certain teams if they were really undersized, or especially I think the biggest thing is the communication from talking
Yes.
to a lot of SEC coaches. I mean, it's so simple, but like when you are watching a game, sometimes you don't think about it, how big the communication is, that if the running back room and then and the O-line, if they're young and they're not doing well communicating with each other, it completely affects everything.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing is size and communication. If you don't have the size, and your communication has just got to completely step up.
Yeah. And for nothing more, we've been speaking with a ton of different coaches and players, and it really feels like they're all on the same page.
I was just thinking
Like,
that as you said that.
Not even like it's not rehearsed either, because they're all saying, I don't want to say the same thing, but they're all getting the same points across, but doing like translating it in their own way. And I feel like that's such a good sign. Like this is such a new coaching staff. I think there's like one returning coach on this staff, and there's more coaches on this staff than there have been in previous years. Like there's 2 O-line coaches now. So they're getting twice as many reps as they were before. They're being able to create those more intimate relationships with the coaches to be able to work with them a lot more. I just feel like it's a much more well-oiled machine. Like kind of like you said, it's just been completely revamped.
And I think also too, like you normally don't see that with schools, where you normally hear from the head coach and then the offensive coordinator and then the defensive coordinator, and that's it. And they just speak for everyone. And then normally it's like the same two to three players, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I think it's really impressive that Silverfield has been able to get every single person on the same page, all saying the same
So
thing.
quickly.
Yes, because a lot of the times, I mean, in the media, it's your job to go ahead and
Right.
point it out
Yeah.
if they're completely contradicting each other. And like, I mean, I've seen that. I'm sure you've seen
Yeah.
that, where if a coach and their staff is not on the same page, and
I
then
mean,
they
we've even
contradict
seen it
each
in
other.
previous years at Arkansas, where
Yeah.
head coaches won't let any of the assistant coaches or any of the coordinators speak, because it's like, and
What
it's
if they
like,
slip up,
right?
say the
That's a
wrong
little
thing?
like, okay, it's a
Yeah.
little eyebrow raising.
And it's like we're hearing from everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just the
They're
same
not
two
hiding
people.
anybody.
No one.
No, they're not
No
keeping
one.
quiet.
And also too, something that I thought was really special that Silverfield did, that I don't think I'm not saying that a head coach has never done this,
Yeah.
but I've never had this experience, is that when we were out there, he literally thanked the media.
Yeah.
As we were leaving, he was like, "Thanks guys for coming, like appreciate it so much."
Yep.
And I thought that was like so unique, like so different.
Yeah, he's such a down to earth guy. Like I know
Yeah.
we've both had personal interactions. He's come into the studio. He's talked with Trey. He's talked with like he's just a very nice guy, and I feel like he genuinely cares about everybody that he interacts with. Like
Yeah.
and you can kind of see that with him with working with the players. Like he's an offensive minded guy, but the D line's talking about him, and he's like he's out there and he wants to learn what we're learning too, and he's helping us. Like he knows way more than all of us.
Yeah.
But he's helping us and he's learning with us almost. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a kind of like almost like a big brother relationship. I feel like not like a father son, which I feel like that works.
Yeah.
You have to
I mean,
figure
it
out what
does.
works, but I feel like that's working right now for them at least.
I know. I want him to have so much success.
I know.
I really hope they're able to turn things around. When you look at that schedule, how many games do you think they'll win?
I'm saying 5 right now.
Okay.
I think I was talking about this with Ty Richardson the other day as well. I think if they can come away with, I would say like 2 wins out of their first 5-ish games, that would be successful. If you can take, and then once Tennessee hits, I think there's like a 5-game stretch there that gets a little, their schedule is so hard. So I don't want
I
to
know,
sound
it's
like
so
an idiot
difficult.
saying, oh, it gets easy there. But
Yeah.
that's, I think, a little bit of a lull in their schedule.
Yeah.
Where I think they could take Tennessee, or at least make it a close game. I think they could take Vandy, especially without Pavia back. That's obviously up in the air. And then Missouri, why not?
Mm.
South Carolina. I think that they could take 2 games at least in the SEC, like out of their SEC play. And then you should take North Alabama and Tulsa and then maybe get one other upset.
You know, I kind of thought that they possibly could beat Auburn, but like talking to some people over in that area, and then also too just kind of seeing videos on social media. Obviously, social media does not tell the full picture.
And it's like a minute 30 highlight of their practice. And it's like,
like,
dang, they look good.
Yeah, but then it's like you don't really know like the full picture of what's going on.
Yeah.
I was confident that possibly they could go ahead and upset them, but I don't see that happening. Obviously, I just pulled the schedule up right now as you're talking. North Alabama, I think that's a win.
Yeah.
Utah.
Lord, I hope it's a win.
Yeah.
For literally the town, like Northwest Arkansas, for Fayetteville, for the state, I think that's a win.
Yeah, because the last time we saw them win a game was
I haven't covered them win a game yet.
I only covered them winning one game, and it was the Arkansas State game. And that was crazy because like going into that game, like every Arkansas State fan was convinced
that they could take them,
that they were going to take them because they looked so bad.
Arkansas State, yeah. Okay, keep going.
And then Utah, loss. Georgia, loss. Tulsa, win. But I think also too that, not saying it's like necessarily like a trap game, but like what if that turns into like a Memphis last year when everybody looked at that schedule and was like, man, like,
Memphis is a win, yeah.
A&M, I think that's a loss. I mean, now we have to sit there and think, okay, when was the last time Tennessee came to Arkansas? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
The storm.
Yep.
Like,
storm in the field.
Yeah, that was crazy. Vanderbilt, I don't know. I think we just kind of have to see what they look like again without Pavia. Missouri, historically, like Arkansas has not done well against them, but who knows? Like, new coach, new era.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Auburn, I think, is a loss.
Yeah.
South Carolina here, I can't lie. I don't know. I think it just depends. South Carolina, that program kind of just goes in waves.
Yeah, I agree. They get really hot at one point in their season, and it's like they're on a rampage, and then the rest of it, it's like, where'd they go?
Yeah, and then Texas and LSU. You know, imagine, I was talking about this with Trey. Imagine if the entire, like LSU's entire season and chance of making the playoffs all comes down
to the battle of the boot.
Yep.
That would be awesome.
That would be unreal, especially in like Kiffin's like first year.
Yeah. And as crazy and chaotic as last year was, the games were, for the most part, very close games.
Yes.
We're going to not think about Notre Dame. That was my first game I covered, by the way. And I'm standing on the sidelines, like, I think, whatever, like, in between quarters or something like that. And I'm texting my dad. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a pinch me moment. And he's like, you're seeing the score. And I'm like, yes, but I'm just really happy to be here. Like, it's just like the kid who, like, finally gets invited to the party. He's like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
That was literally what I felt like covering that game. But aside from that, if you look at the other games that they lost last year, they were, for the most part, 1-score games.
Yeah.
So, and as crazy and all over the place as last season was, okay, now it seems like you have a more cohesive unit inside and outside of the locker room. How much can that really help? So I guess time will tell.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break here on the Woo Pig Podcast. We'll be coming right back after the break. Stick with us. All right, welcome back into the Woo Pig Podcast. Time to talk some hoops, because the Hogs got probably the best vacation ever this summer and got to go to the Bahamas. So jealous. We're going to talk to Trey about that. Hopefully we can go next year. That would be awesome.
Wait, he had said he was, and he can't go back on it now.
Oh,
Can't go
now
back
it's
on
being
it now.
Now it's on the podcast, so it's really no going back.
He said it to Hayden and I when you were off one of the days.
Yeah.
He was like, if they go back to, well, because they are, right? I think they're going to go back. He was like, we've got to go. He's like, we've got to go.
He's for it. Like, we just got to make this happen. So, anyways, we'll be revisiting that this time next year, or earlier than this time next year.
Crew. Guys, touchdown in the Bahamas.
Something with some pigs. That looks so fun.
That was the first question that I asked somebody. I was like, do we think before, like, who are they playing? Like, you know, how do they going to schedule?
No, we didn't care about that. Are they going to swim with some pigs?
Are they going to swim with the pigs?
Yeah,
but I've heard the pigs are a little vicious.
Probably because they're all like food oriented. So it's like, okay, if you're not going to give me food, then like, I'm going to be mad at you, right? I feel like that's how it is with animals like that.
Well, no, they got to definitely be nice though. 'Cause it's like Woo Pig Suey, like.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess we'll find out for ourselves next year. Manifesting that for us.
It's gonna it has to happen,
right?
I outed what Trey said in the office, so can't go back now.
Maybe there'll be some convincing along the way too. Yeah. But anyways, all right, Hogs on the hardwood. I thought they looked fantastic. Yeah. I think my favorite thing, they're so unselfish.
Mm-hmm.
they were just, everyone wanted, and it's different to say this because of, if you look at who they played, like, yes, they played a couple of pro teams. One of the Canadian teams won their league last year. So it's not like they were playing these, I want to say like no-name international teams. Like these are like decently known. But the way that they pretty much dismantled every team that they played by, I think the average margin was like 43 points, something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that was mostly a freshman starting lineup. And I think that was also great for Coach Cal to see what he's got. Like, yeah, you can get a tell from these guys in practice, the effort that they're putting in, the progress that they're making in shooting drills, whatever, X, Y, Z. But that's not game situation where you're actually playing against other people who don't know your defensive like schemes and what you're planning on doing out there. So I think that was a really good way for him to kind of throw pretty much everyone out and see what's sticking.
I'm sorry, I just can't stop thinking about the pigs. When Haley was like, they're really food oriented. They've got to be mean.
I feel like they are, no?
Oh, they definitely are. But
Yeah.
no, the player that I think I'm the most excited to watch has got to be Jordan Smith Jr.
Yeah.
He looked unreal.
Yeah.
Also, too, none of them, him and JJ, they do not look like freshmen physically.
Oh.
They are in phenomenal
Neither does
shape.
Arrigu.
No.
I don't think he does either. And people were a little nervous about that one because he's supposed to be a senior in high school. Also, mind you. Like that's
crazy.
I don't know
to
about
think
you,
about.
but that is not what my men's basketball team or my boys basketball team, they're boys basketball team in high school looked like. Like not even close.
Scrawny jerseys falling off of them.
Yes. And so the fact that he's able to bypass his senior year and fit in pretty seamlessly at Arkansas, it looked like, at least from those first 4 games, that's extremely impressive. So props to the nutrition and the weightlifting and all of that stuff that he's been doing because it's definitely working.
It's been unreal, honestly.
He was holding his own.
When you look at the lineup, it's an insane group
Yeah.
of guys. I mean, also too, I think like one of the biggest questions still is like, not like, you know, they played great defensively. I mean, such an improvement from last year, but I think definitely like the depth side of things, we saw what happened.
And you don't even have Mika Murinen yet.
No.
He wasn't even able to play yet. So it's like, and that's a guy who's going to be a stretch 4 who's expected to come in and make an immediate impact. You didn't even get to see him play, and they're already dismantling teams by 45 points. Are you kidding me? Like,
what do you think the ceiling is of this team?
I don't know. I think they could make a strong Elite 8 run.
Yeah.
At least. I think they could probably go maybe Final 4. Depends on like where they get placed in the bracket and stuff like that and who else is in that bracket, of course. But I don't know. I mean, the one thing, my slight hesitation with this team is just their age. Like right now, 18 years and 9 months is the average age of this team.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You just got your driver's license. You can just now have other people in the car with you driving down the street. Like, but to contradict myself here, they seem so mature. Like speaking with us, I know Hayden sat down with a couple of players. We've been able to speak with some of them like through media availability too. And they're very poised. They're very well spoken. Coach Cal recruited good men, not just good basketball players.
Yeah. When I covered Little Rock Christian, I spoke to JJ so many times, like after doing one-on-one interviews with him, speaking with his parents, well-rounded kid.
Yeah.
I did not feel at all like I was like talking to an 18-year-old, you know, even talking to his high school coach. He was like, this kid's like ready to go. I think he also too, he kind of wears his heart on his sleeve just with his dad coming. Like having been at school here and being an absolute legend and just kind of, you know, wanting, even though they didn't play the same sport, kind of wants to have the same impact as his dad that his dad had here and kind of grow in that space.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm just going down the roster here. Also, I loved the energy when Amir Brown got in. Like, that was just electric.
Hysterical.
He's so funny. Have you seen his TikToks?
Yes, I was just going to say his TikToks
They are so good.
Legendary.
He is the reason that locker room is what it is. 1,000%.
Has to be.
That would not, and kudos to Coach Cal. He knew what he was doing with that. He 1,000% knew what he was doing with that. So good for you for bringing in a guy that has made that team so close in the locker room. And you can tell by the way that they play out on the court. This does not look like a team to me that met, 6 months ago? Not even.
Yeah.
Started practicing together 3 months ago. It doesn't look like that at all.
I feel like their ceiling, I can't lie, I think their ceiling is a national championship. Their floor is the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would be shocked if they...
Because you have a ton of young talent, right? And we saw the I don't even want to say rocky start, but there was definitely a learning curve for Malik Thomas and Darius Acuff in the beginning of the year. And I'm sure there's going to be with these players, especially with how many there are. But then you have guys like Billy Richmond and Jeremiah Wilkinson who have a more veteran presence and will bring that to these younger guys. And both of them super talented players. I really hope, and we'll talk about this in just a second, I really hope that they don't get lost in the shuffle with all of this young talent. But I think that they just bring us literally with their experience playing in the SEC, Wilkinson coming over from Georgia, a good basketball school, and Billy being here last year and the year before that just brings a different element to their game that when games get a little hostile or they get a little pushy, whatever, you know, you can put those guys in that will have a good head on their shoulders who will be able to calm the floor.
Yeah, I think with Billy especially, I mean, you know, he had talked about it in an interview about how he felt like he needed to come back for another year because he just needed to mature a little bit, needed to grow his game a little bit more. And he felt like he kind of had some unfinished business here. So I think he's really motivated in that way. Also to the entire fan base, they are completely behind him.
Yeah.
When I came up for Billy Goat,
Love
it's
it.
so good.
Yep.
When I came up for
He needs an NIL deal with that, by the way.
So good.
Like, I don't know. We'll brainstorm this, and then the next time we'll come back and we'll have some ideas for you, Billy. But
imagine it's like a goat farm. It'd have to be imagine stuff.
What? We're gonna continue to brainstorm.
Yeah, no, because like Nick Pringle, how you said with the Pringles,
right? That was such a missed opportunity.
That would have been good. I mean, it works though when like your name has something to do with like a food or like a drink or something like that. It works.
They could, this could be, we'll come up with something. we'll be back. But anyways, yes, he definitely has the state behind him in terms of support and everyone's just rooting for him. I think he, in the NBA Combine, his shooting looked way better than what it did during the season. And it's different when you're doing shooting drills and stuff like that. I get that. But I think that's the element of his game where he kind of said unfinished business. This is me speculating. He did not tell me this. But I think that that's more like his offensive presence is what will help boost his draft stock come next summer.
Yeah.
And like, obviously the defense is there. And it's taxing always guarding. I would say 90% of the time he's guarding the best player on the other team.
Do you think Jordan Smith Jr. could possibly be better than Darius Acuff? I know that was kind of a debate after
it is a debate.
The Bahamas, and I feel like it's like kind of continued.
I don't know because this is such the PR answer from me. I don't know. It's too early. I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah. But he seems more well-rounded, plays better defense, passes the ball. Well, Darius was not a selfish player whatsoever. He was always trying to set up his teammates. So he had the offensive side of the game. The defense, I think he definitely lacked. He knows it too. And I think that's what Jordan has a leg up on him in. So if he can produce on the offensive side and keep up the defense, even have just mediocre defense, I think that, yes, that could propel him further than Acuff.
I think it's going to be crazy to watch that. Imagine if Cal got two players to the level of like, I mean, because everybody across the country was talking about
I think they could
Darius
have like
Acuff.
4 first-round draft picks.
That would be crazy. I wonder if like by the end of the season, like when it's done, like fully said and done, you know, whether they make the national championship, whether they win the national championship, whatever it is, that if this is going to be like one of, if not the best team that Cal's ever put together. Yeah.
I mean, you look at the talent and it's going to also be who's going to stick around next year, who doesn't get the playing time, who doesn't contribute as much as they wanted to this season. And they're like, okay, kind of like Billy, unfinished business at Arkansas. I want to come back for another year. So that'd be crazy. I know. I can't wait. I can't wait for football season to start. I can't wait for crossover season. As crazy as that sounds, it's insane, but it's going to be so much fun with these two teams. Okay, we have talked for so long. We need to get out of here, but thank you so much for joining us on the Woo Pig podcast. We'll be back next week. We'll see you then.